So I'd like to read from the front page of your handout, general principles of the program. Just see what these bring up for you. Effective action for change starts with compassionate understanding of what is.
You know where we are? Okay. The second one is the changes we seek depend on our being in positive relationship with each other. Positive relationship with each other.
Communities have untapped resources and gifts waiting to find creative expression.
Hands-on experiential learning is transferable and is a learning for life.
So that's kind of where we start. And we're going to talk a little bit about, on the back of the sheet, what this program is all about. It's really about you as leaders. We're working with you to recognize your gifts, to build them, to learn how to support each other. Some people mentioned very specific projects they want. That's a possible outcome. That's not the focus of what we spend our time together about. So I want to start with kind of what's required of you folks, what you give, mostly time. On the other side, there's the list of the times required for the training meetings, the work you need to do between trainings, and you're going to develop a pilot project over the summer. And as you learn from that, launch something else, a larger scale project with more funding for next year. The actual training of the program is 8 months. The learning of the program extends another year as we support you in making your dream bigger, deeper, more powerful.
It's important that you understand the time commitment and commit to it when you apply and if you're accepted. Because this is a relational training. This is training where you learn from each other more than you learn from us. We kind of help facilitate that. And so if someone's not here, then that's a disadvantage. That puts the whole group at a disadvantage. So, I mean, we understand life happens, but if you're going to commit to the time, really try to commit to that time.
So we require your creative energy in learning and listening, imagining, building, realizing. So lots of people come in with experience of things they've done that have been successful. We love that, and we really want you to try new things, learn, expand your capability. As you do that and get in relationship with each other, you're actually expanding the capacity of the community to heal and grow. You want to talk about what we offer? Well, you talked a little bit about the commitment.
Yeah.
So as Kevin said, it's the work that you do together that is the learning. And you can't come and be an observer and sit in the back of the room and take notes. You got to get in there. So we really expect you to be willing to do that. Take risks, make mistakes, learn from your mistakes, support each other.
We try to create a safe space. We create a safe space so that you can make mistakes and try things new and see what happens. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't work, we'll figure out why and what we need to do to amend it. But there's no finger pointing. It's a safe space for you to try. So what we're offering, in addition to a safe space, is some training. There are some tools, there's some techniques, there are some things that we will share with you. We're following a kind of a design thinking model in this program, where and we'll get into more detail about what that is later. If you have questions, we can ask. But those are just some of the tools that we'll talk about and we'll practice. We will spend a lot of time on the main tool for community organizing, and that's the one-on-one. That's the individual meeting. That's sitting down face to face with someone and having a conversation and listening to what they have to say. So there's going to be a whole lot of listening in this program, practicing listening. We all say we do it, but we walk away from the conversation and go, oh, what was that she said? I was so busy thinking about what I wanted to say that I didn't hear what. So we'll spend a lot of practice of listening and getting the opportunity to share your story. The other thing we're offering is ongoing connections. I mean, it's already started here. You're seeing people that are similar, that are complementary to what you're trying to do. We're bringing in 20.
About 20.
We're bringing about 20 leaders who are going to, and they're going to be people like you, who are into things, who have ideas, who have drive, who have energy, who have creativity, who have commitment. And you're going to be spending a good amount of time and getting to know some not necessarily personal details, but intimate details about the people that you're sharing with. And those relationships can go on for as long as you like them to be. You're going to get a little money. There's support for a pilot project, up to $500, and then a second stage project, which kind of expands on your pilot, of up to $2,500. And if you have any questions about the money, talk to Lee. I know somebody said something earlier about not having to go back to Lee for money. Keep going to Lee for money. That's his job. That's what they do. The Community Foundation gives away money. So keep going. And then we'll have meals at all of the trainings. There'll be a breakfast and lunch for the all-day ones, and some form of a dinner at the evening one, light dinner. And we'll also, if you need, what do you do with the little kids? Child care.
You can tell he doesn't have any kids, huh?
I got a cat.
What do you do with kids?
So if you need child care, let us know, and we'll arrange for child care. And also there will be a stipend to help you with transportation. This is New Haven. The training's going to be downtown somewhere, and parking is always an issue, so that you can use this stipend to help pay for your parking or your transportation.
And after the first training, you'll know each other and you'll figure out how to carpool or whatever you need to do.
Right.
So what's the impact on you? How do we expect that this will change you? Hopefully, you'll each sharpen your sense of purpose, learning how you can be effective, how you can use your gifts to leverage the change you want in the community. You'll realize that you're not alone in this. We've already heard across the room tonight, oh, that person's doing something just like I want to do, only they're talking about it a little differently. We should get together. And we'll encourage you to do that even if you don't get into the program. We talk a little bit about supportive accountability. There's a lot of talk about accountability as kind of this kind of accountability. Supportive accountability is you agree to do something, and how can I help you do that, rather than how can I punish you or blame you when you don't believe it. That's a really important shift in how we work together and hold each other accountable, but supportively. And the other is this little model, which, give me a minute and I'll walk you through this. It won't make any sense, but when you start doing it, it's amazing. So, starting with some need that you see in the community, a gap, something that you hope to improve, your vision, that could go in here. The first step in moving on that is observation. What's really going on? I'm seeing something that's not right. What's really going on? And the one-on-one conversations that Kevin talked about is the first step in that. Go and listen to the people you're hoping to serve, and so that you really understand what the issue is, what the problem is, or what the possibility is. And you come back and you think about, what are all the things I learned? And you help each other in analyzing and synthesizing what you observed. Then you have a little creative burst where you think, well, if that's really the problem, what's the thing what are the ways that I could respond to that? And you come up with a bunch of them, you kind of brainstorm. And from that brainstorm, you figure out, well, I could try this, and let me see if my idea is right. So you prototype, And this is what the summer project is. It's a little prototype, a little small version of a big idea, so you can learn from it. And you test it. You set up that prototype so you can learn whether your idea is right. Usually it's not, but you learn something. You go back and you think about it again, you do some more observation, and this is a cycle that you go on and on and on. Each time the thing you're doing gets a little better, and you get a little better at what you're trying to do. So that's design thinking. It's amazing how people shift from a rigid idea of how to solve the problem that they see to an open mind and heart about how can I understand what's needed and bring my full self into responding to that. There, that's my sermon.
Amen. So before I move to the last piece, I just want to go back again on the sense of purpose. We will spend a lot of time working on your purpose, your thesis statement, the thing that you're trying to create in the world, and refining it and making sure you really understand what the outcomes are you're looking for, what is the change you're trying to see, because that helps you understand what you're doing and make sure you stay on focus. It does things like keep you from getting upset. If your goal is to get a basketball hoop up in this street corner and somebody else comes along and puts up a basketball hoop, y'all know a lot of folks would be like, oh man, I want to do that. They put that up there, it's bad. No, you just accomplished your goal. Somebody else did it for you. You got your basketball. So if you understand your purpose, it helps you interact more and work better with other folks. And it also helps you to figure out where you need to go and what you need to be doing. So a lot of it happens every year. Everybody comes in, most folks come in with an idea. By the time they leave, it's changed. It's been refined from their conversations, from their listening to the people they're trying to serve, from their listening to the people that they're trying to get to become allies and supporters with them. So that purpose, really understanding that, is kind of a core to what you're trying to do, how we are teaching building community. So, any questions on that? Okay. So the impact on your neighborhood in Greater New Haven, because I'm glad to hear some East Haven and some West Haven in the house. Hamden, I heard Hamden represented. Shout out to Hamden. So you will have relational connections, and those relational connections will help with resiliency and understanding and resourcing social change. So you're going to find partners, compatriots. You're going to find fellow soldiers in arms, however you want to talk about the work you're doing. Compassionate people that have their own ideas and their own thoughts, and they're working together. And by you guys coming together, you're going to strengthen this community. You know, that's what we are. We call you neighborhood initiators, as opposed to leaders. And because a leader, you guys are initiators. You're taking the steps to make something happen. And you're going to meet a whole bunch of people that are doing the same thing. And so it can't help but strengthen our community when folks are working together. Health, safety, prosperity, children, youth, and families, it's just all of these areas that can benefit from the work that you're going to bring, that you're already bringing, and you're going to bring even more intensely into your community.
Yeah, a lot of you, as we went around and talked about specific groups of people that you want to serve. And that's really important to be clear about who that is, so that you can listen to them about what they need, so that you can really be effective in what you're trying to shift. This is actually the next, collective liberation is a new word in this room. It really is the premise that if we're trying to liberate ourselves, everybody has to be liberated. What's good for, what harms one harms us all. What is good for one can be good for all. So it's really a consciousness of not just fixing my neighborhood, but what's the larger context that that's part of, and how can I be aware of that? It doesn't mean you have to fix everything, but the silos that exist in New Haven, I'm sure you've all encountered those, where organizations are competing for scarce resources and cutting each other down so that they can rise up. That's not what we're about. We're about collective liberation.
So when we talk about what is the impact on the neighborhood and Greater New Haven, we've given you some examples, but what really the impact is going to be whatever you want it to be. It can be as big or as small or it's up to you. We have no preconceived notions. We have no specific areas that, as Lee said, that we're trying to force you into because we know all the answers. That's not what this is. This is you. And so what happens is up to you. And the impact that that has on your community and on our Greater New Haven area is up to you. It's up to your creativity, your energy, your capacity, your resources. And we'll help you with that.
And you'll help each other.
And you'll help each other.
So we're not going to go through in detail all of this on the front side. These are all the kind of steps and components. The things highlighted are formal trainings that we require you to make your very best effort to attend. The stuff in between is just as important, so it should all be highlighted actually. Questions?
Can I just ask you for